Good morning, I hope you're all well. Today we are going to be focusing on some upper body work again. So if you have some free weights, grab some free weights. If you don't have any, then do your usual search around the house. Find some tins of beans or something from the cupboard, bags of sugar, hammer, spanner, whatever you need to use. Child, a dog, a cat, something that can give you a little bit of resistance work. As you know, we can do most exercises without weights at all, so it's your choice. I'm just going to set myself up and I want you to bring yourself down onto the floor. We're going to start lying flat down on our tummies today. So keep your weights nearby to the sides of your mat if you're using them, and bring yourself down to the floor. I'm just going to adjust my screen very slightly so that when I come up there's a little bit more. Good, so just make a little pillow with your hands. Take your head to one side, and I want you to free your body. By that I mean rock body, your body side to side, like it's a loose weight sinking into the ground. Everything just relaxes, your thighs just rotate side to side, wobbling through the hips, allowing that give into your lower back. And as you take a breath in, I want you to focus on just opening out through your rib cage to the sides of your back, and then exhale, letting everything just drop down. So no squeezing of the abs yet, just letting everything loose. Just find your breath. Keep moving through the body, just turn your eye gaze the other way, so just settling down. Increase your inhalation, increase your exhalation. Begin to just slow down your movements. And then come into the center, taking your forehead down towards the floor, extending your arms out in front of you. So now we're going to bring our legs together, lengthen out through the arms and lower the head down towards the floor. We're going to squeeze gently through the belly and the butt. So imagine you're just lifting your lower belly off the ground. We take a breath in, exhale. We're going to do a gentle lift of the opposite arm to leg, so back leg, front arm, head and chest drift off the ground, keeping your eye gaze down. Lengthen through your fingers and your toes and feel the stretch through the body. So when you get to your maximum stretch, that's where you want to stay every time you lift your arm and leg. And then just gently settle it down. As you drop it down, you'll feel it's a little bit longer. Take a breath in, stretch through the opposite arm and leg, so front leg, back arm comes up. Pause here, take a breath in, exhale, reach the fingers and just feel that elongation through the body. Take a breath in, exhale, lower down, settle down at the bottom. Inhale to begin, exhale. We lift up front arm, back leg. We inhale, slowly drop down. We exhale, swap to the other side. We inhale, release. Exhale, drift up. Inhale, down. Exhale, up. And inhale, down. This time we do a 5 pulse press. So we come up, we press for 5, 4, so just the arm and the leg, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, lower, exhale, up, other side, pause. Inhale, exhale for 1, 2, reach 3, and 4, and 5. Inhale, exhale, lower down. We repeat again. If you feel any pain in the arms, if it's too much in the shoulders, do your 5 press pulse, then just reduce your range. You lower down a little bit more and think about the reach. This is not about height. This is about elongation. This is about stretching your muscles away and opening up through the joints, trying to increase that mobility into the shoulders, into the hips, working the muscles of the shoulders and the arms, the buttocks, the thighs, through to the calves. And we're going to go one more round. Breath in at the bottom, exhale, reach. Reach. Every time you exhale, stretch further. And then finally to the other side, reaching up. Squeeze. Last one, and release. Take a breath at the bottom. Slide your hands underneath your forehead. I want you to turn your toes out. Okay, so now we're going to laterally rotate our hips. So all that's happened is your hip joints have just opened up very slightly. which might just then gently compress the sacrum. So again, be aware of that lower back. We're going to try and aim to pull our heels together, keeping that outward rotation. So just keep thinking like you're Charlie Chaplin through the legs, okay? Your upper body's relaxed. You're going to lift the legs up to a hover. They're wide. You're keeping your feet turned in, so I'm dorsiflexing my feet. And as we squeeze on the exhale, we're trying to squeeze the heels together and gently release it back out. So exhale, squeeze the heels. I don't like to do this because my legs naturally do the opposite direction. My feet actually turn in. So for me, that is a real challenge. At the same time, keeping those kneecaps off the ground. So again, it doesn't matter if you don't completely reach, it's trying. And some of you might find this really easy, especially if your legs naturally do this position. So 3 more for me. Relax the shoulders, squeeze the abs. 2 more. Last one. Big, big squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. Little roll the hips, loosen it all up. Keep the feet planted on the ground. So we start here. We hover the head. So my hands are stacked still. We lift up. We open out to an aeroplane through the arms, squeezing the shoulder blades up, returning the hands and dropping it back down. So I lift, I open, I close, and I drop. So if you feel that's a little bit too much, again, reduce your range. Just hover off the floor. So your back muscles are holding you there. Then open the arms and try and squeeze your shoulder blades up a little bit. Then return the hands and lower down. What I don't want you to see doing, and just continue as I talk, is as you lift, take your arms out to the side. When you squeeze your your shoulder blades up, I want you to think about your arm going straight up to the sky. Because what your shoulder blades naturally want to do is they want to squeeze together, which draws your arms back. That movement is our natural positioning through the wings of our back, okay? That's what the muscles naturally do, they pull back. So you're forcing an upward motion to a squeeze of the shoulder blades rather than a pull back, okay? So it's a lift up and then drop and release. So wherever you are, give me 3 more. Remember, you can take this as high as you like. Just make sure there's no strain in the lower back. It will work your lower back, but you don't want to strain your lower back. Squeeze your belly, squeeze your butt. So we should be on our last one. We open up, and I want you to pause on that beautiful arm opening. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades, lifting your hands towards the sky, and then gently pull your hands back all the way behind you. Interlace those fingers and stretch through your upper body. Lift the chest. Pull the arms up and high. Imagine you're trying to squeeze your hands down towards your heels and then up towards the sky. Eye gaze down. Lift those arms. 5, 4, squeeze the belly. 2, and release the arms. Circle them around. Turn your head away from me. And again, roll through that body and loosen everything. Let it all go. Turn your head back towards me. Little wriggle. And then come back to the center. Slide your hands under, elbows pointing up. Gently push up. Very slowly transition into child's pose. So just let your spine settle down because you've done very strong back extensions. You mustn't just suddenly go into flexion of the spine. You need to let your spine settle. Let the vertebrae start to find its neutral position and then lower yourself down, flexing the spine and letting it recover. Then reach your arms forward if you can, pushing the bottom down into the heels firmly so you're resisting across the spine, down the lats, the side back muscles. If you don't like child's pose, just come up into a knee and elbow cat stretch. Okay, bring yourself up. We're going to work with these weights, optional. So my knees are staying wide, my feet are staying, my big toes are staying together. My left hand's on the floor, my back hand. My right hand is holding the weight. rotations, nothing you haven't done. Exhale, we squeeze up. We inhale, bend deep through this arm and feed that right arm under. So exhale, rotate. Inhale, feed. I'm just going to adapt my screen so you can see my arm positioning rather than my the lower part of my body. So this arm squeezes up towards the sky and feeds through. But my controlling motion is squeezing through the abs. My abs are controlling that twist. My hip bones are trying to stay as close down towards the floor as possible. And then you feed under. Cut it up. Feed it under. Get lots of fluidity running through that rotation of the spine. Feeding. That arm hovers. We don't touch the ground. And feed. 4 more. Feed. Last 2. And feed. Last 1. And then just drop it to the ground and come into a side twist. Try and lower the ear to the floor and reach that arm through and underneath. My left hand is going to catch the wrist and just encourage a little bit more opening through my right shoulder blade. So after all that work you're doing on the floor, this is a fabulous stretch to release those muscles. Really enjoy that reach, that pull back, that slight resistance through the shoulder blade. Couple of more breaths here. And bring that hand down, keeping hold of that weight. Bring your weight down, bring the knees together. We're going to work into the triceps. So you have 2 options. You can stay here on all 4s. Okay? This is just going to allow you to do some upper body work. Now, ideally, you do the weight to work your triceps. I will give you an alternative exercise completely if you're not using your weights, just so you get into those triceps. If you want a bit more challenge, and I think all of you do, you take your knees back and you float your hips down, half plank position. My arm here is my stabilizing arm. I'm keeping my shoulders in line, my abs are engaged and my tailbone tucked, my buttocks dropped. My arm comes to here. We kick back. The lower arm, the upper arm stays in line with the back. So we're just kicking back through the triceps. Stay here if you can. Some of you who want to be really hardcore can lift those knees. My legs are wide, so keep an eye on that. And you can work here, but making sure you're not rolling your hips, okay? Hips facing the ground. If it gets too much, lower the knees and continue. So you should be doing your tricep kickbacks. If you do not have weights, hands here. And float down, a little bend in the elbows, squeezing into the rib cage and kicking back. So bend forward, squeeze your elbows into the rib cage and roll it back. So you're working back to those arms. Guys who are in their planks, give me 5 more through the upper body. And then lower the weight, drop the hand. So if you're still doing your tricep dips with both hands, give me 4 more. If you have just put your weight down, tuck your toes and lift up into a full plank on those hands and hold here. So those of you that are still doing your tricep dips, you should be on your last one. And then come and join up onto the toes. 1 more breath. And everyone drop those knees, drop it back into child's pose again. Elbows this time resting on the ground, head down, and then wriggle your bottom down into your heels. Or your cat stretch here, that's fine. Take it nice and slow down that breath. And then bring yourself forward onto your hands and knees. Now that back foot is going to slide out wide. And that's going to allow you to turn over onto your side. So there's my stabilizing leg. This hand is going to catch the weight. So we're still working on the same arm. We're going to work in 3 planes of motion here. So I'm just going to turn myself back a little bit more. So 3 planes of motion. Your arm comes up to the sky. The arm is going to float over in line with the ear. So you can do this without a weight, but still that shoulder mobility. You bring the arm up. You take it forward in front of the shoulder. You lift it back up. You then take it down towards the hip and lift it back up. There's your 3 planes of motion. So first one, reach overhead, squeeze, come back up. Take it forward, control through your core, lift it back up. Take it down towards the hip and lift it back up, yeah? If you want a little bit more challenge, guys, take that foot behind, full side plank, overhead, back, forward, lift to the hip and up, and over the head and back, and forward, and lift, and down to the hips and up. So if you need to drop that knee back down, do so. Also, if you wish, keep going whilst I talk. You can challenge yourself onto your elbow and take the pressure off the wrist if it's your wrist that's feeling it. Doesn't matter if you're on a low level here. Let's do 2 more rounds. Come on, lift up high. Reach high to the shoulder and up to the hip and up. Reach over and up and forward and up and to the hip and up and hold. Look up to that weight or hand. 5. Lift the hips. 3, 2, and come down. Turning back over onto your hands and knees. And then bring yourself around and sit on your bottoms. Take a breath, lift your spine, grab hold of those legs, feel that lovely lengthening, and then fold forward, down your thighs. So just feel that flexion. Releasing. Now your left arm was the one that you were leaning on, your right arm's on that was moving. So just take hold of your right foot with your left arm, and I want you to just slide that leg away and imagine you're trying to pull your shoulder away from your back using a little bit of strength through the leg as I push my foot and I'm resisting, and then using this hand on the floor, just do a gentle rotation towards me and look across that shoulder. And that opens up through the side of my rib cage, just by doing a very subtle rotation and a gentle pull through the leg. And if you're not feeling this, it just might mean you're not very tight, or you might just need to reposition yourself just to feel that kind of opening down the side of my left back. And then bring yourself back into the center. Lift up tall. Okay, so we're going to do circles through the arms. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing. We lift up tall. If you need a little bit of cushion on that lower back, grab a cushion now, grab a ball, grab something you can just gently lean the base of your spine into. Then soften through the belly, come into a half roll back. We start with my palms facing in. We rotate, turning the palms up, bringing them together, taking them back down, turning them back and resting them down. So my arms are just slightly extended forward. We lift up, we rotate, bring them up above the head, not behind the head. So you can always just about see the weights in peripheral vision. Lifting up, rotating, and up. So get that belly working. You don't have to use weights. You're still going to get that workout just using nothing. Because as your arms lift, that activates your core. So that's where you're working out. Make sure your lower belly is sucked in tight so you're not feeling any strain in that lower back. We're going to do 3 more rounds. Last one. Come up, hold. Now sink back and lift, sink back and lift, and 8 and 7. Squeeze. 6. You can drop the weights if you need to. Keep those arms high. Last 3 and 2. Last 1. Lift it up. Just drop down. Take a breather and a forward fold. Whilst you're here, open the knees. So I've got quite a wide stance here. My feet are quite far away from my groin. So I've kind of got like a nice little diamond shape running through the legs. So first of all, just reach down and allow yourself to drop forward. So the stretch will either be across your lower back in the sacrum, if you're tight there. You might feel it in the joint of the knees or down through the hips. You might feel it in your thighs and the groin or the hip flexors. So wherever your real kind of tight area is around that kind of core trunk and lower part of the hips, you will feel that stretch now. Just breathe in, lift and reach forward, and then exhale, sink it down. I want you to stay in this position as you roll up and lift up tall through the spine. Grab your weights or not. Bring your weights to here. Turn your palms in and then roll back again. So, keeping these legs wide, we're going to lift up one, turn as if you're punching the foot and bring the leg back down, hand back in. Lift, reach, down. So I'm doing a gentle rotation, reaching towards the toes. Gentle rotation, reaching towards the toes. Hips, stay still. The rotation comes from the waist. Go through your own breath. And again, you don't choose your weights. You can just be here and punch, and punch, and reach. Come on, let's go. And 8, and 7, and 6. Come on, go deeper. And 5, reach, and 3, and 2. Last 1. Hold, hold, hold. Lift those legs if you can. Lift the arms forward. Lift the feet higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, and slide your hands onto those feet. Tuck your feet in really close to you. Lift up tall and fold forward. So now we're going deeper into the groin, deeper into those inner thighs. I'm going to use my elbows just to encourage a little bit more opening. If you can reach to your toes, as in nose to toes, then dip down. There's no way in a million years mine are ever going to get down there. But I'm going to always try to go that little bit further through my breath. A little bit deeper. And then carefully just release. From there, slide your feet behind you again, come onto your hands and knees. I want you to stay here and lift the hips, lift your eye gaze, so just allow the spine to extend naturally. And then curl the spine, tuck under, and feel that lovely stretch through the spine. And then drop and lift. And then curve it under again. One more time. And then curve it under. Okay, take the knees wide. Big toes touching. This time my right hand is underneath the chest. I'm grabbing the weight with my left hand. We're going to go into those rotations. So nice soft elbow. When you're ready, engage the lower abs. We squeeze through the shoulder blade to lift. We reach and we rotate. So let the flow of your body through the breath. Inhale, reaching away. Exhale, rotate. Just give me 4 more. Make it strong. Come on, lift the arms, squeeze the shoulder blade. Keep your lower belly sucked in tight. Last 2. Good. And give me 1 more. And after this last one, we feed the arm all the way through. Twisting, lowering the head to the floor. This hand catches the wrist, and I just encourage a little bit more rotation, opening that shoulder blade. Lovely. So just keep breathing into the areas of tension. So this side is no way as stiff as my other side, because my right side is my dominant side, so I felt the stretch a lot deeper. So I have to just pull a little bit more into this one. And then when you're ready, just release the hand, bring that weight through. So we're working on the triceps. So the option is take your hand forward or stay back here if you wish. Take your hand forward and lower your hips into a plank. This arm at the back comes up. It stays here. Just the lower arm kicks back and in, kicks back and in. So remember, my tailbone's tucked, my abs are engaged, my hips are pointing to the floor. And then if I want a bit more challenge, I can lift those knees and work the arm up here. But if you're falling through the hips, you know that your core can't take it. So lower those knees again and work there. So whichever one you're doing, just keep working at it, keep working those arms. If you were doing the tricep dips forward through the arms, again, set yourself up, inhale, lower down, and exhale, power up. Nice and easy, nice and slow. Give me 8 repetitions of those if you're doing those. Wherever you are with these tricep kickbacks, keep it working. Keep it going, come on. 8, 7, 6, squeeze your abs. That should be very strong on your core. 3, 2, last one, and drop it down. Everybody, when you have finished, you lift the knees and you come up to here. I'm talking to you like you're a whole group that I'm teaching live. Just realize everybody. Just pause there. 5 more seconds. And then carefully drop the knees. Drop the elbows, sit back into child's pose, head down, chest down, bottom reaches the heels, and we wriggle through the hips. So again, you can be in that cat stretch on the elbow, just curving and releasing. Don't take any tension in those shoulders. And then we're going to set ourselves up on the other side. So what I want you to do is just flip over, flip your feet, and then come over onto your side. Otherwise, you're going to end up facing your back to me. So on your hands, you come up onto that knee. We take the weight. So remember, we're working 3 planes of motion through the shoulders. We reach the arm over. We reach the arm up, we come forward in front of the shoulder. Now you use your core and your muscles, your back muscles to hold that arm, and then you lower down to the hip palm facing forward and lift back up and repeat. My palm points to the floor as I stretch it away from me. My palm points back towards you. Then my palm drops down towards the ground and then it lifts back up towards you, and it stays in that direction as you lower it down and lift it back up. So you only rotate it as you reach overhead. And then it stays pretty much the same positioning from there. Those of you who want more of a challenge, come on, let's lift up and then reach and forward. Use your core, down and back up. If you need to ease off that wrist but you still want to work hard in the side, you can come to here and work deeper in this position. This is actually much harder in the abs, I think. Just taking that, drop down a little bit. So 3 more rounds, guys. Oh, I can't position myself now. Last 2, come on, let's go hardcore. Squeeze that tummy. Last one, big reach. Lift those hips. Come forward, squeeze, return the arm down to the hip, lift it up and drop it down. Good. Take a breather. And then from there, you're going to turn yourself over onto your backs. So set yourself up. Weights or no weights. Arms come wide. Lift the legs up to tabletop. And I want you to turn your knees. So my bottom stays on the ground. I'm just doing a little rotation. So that's kind of like a pelvis rotation. My knees very lightly pointing away. Then very carefully just do a very slight rock into the buttock, but I can still feel the floor on my opposite buttock. We extend the legs away from us, not in towards us. Then bend the knees back in. So oblique work. And in. So you should feel this all the way down here, working. And of course, if you need to ease it off and it feels too much, just extend one leg and make it that top leg. Okay, keeping that same angle. So 8 and 7 and 6. Squeeze 5. 4. Make sure you pull those legs back in. 3. Come on, make it hardcore. 2. Hold this next one if you can and hold, hold, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bend the knees and drop them to the ground. Just settle in a nice rotational stretch. Take your weight on your thigh if you need to, or your hand, and reach across the opposite arm. Couple more breaths, nice long deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Begin to release the weight, and then lift the legs to the center. Pausing there, then just turn the knees. So remember, it's just a rotation, and then a very light, subtle lift of this buttock here. And when you're ready, extend the legs away. Inhale, bend. Just keep your eye gaze to the ceiling. Remember, you can take it to one leg if that feels too much. So you're kicking your legs away and pulling in. 8 more. Last 3. Roll it in, kick it away. Last 1. Hold. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Come on, pull the belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bend and drop. Hand on that thigh and twist. And breathe. Nice long deep breath in, nice long exhalation out. Two more breaths. Begin to release the weight. Lift those knees up. Releasing your hands from those weights. Slide your hands around the back of the thighs. Roll yourself up. Turn to face me and take your legs wide. So stretch them out. So I'm going to use the edges of my mat equally. So I know my legs are as wide as each other, because your tight one won't go as far as your looser leg. And I want you to just keep the spine soft, hands to the floor, and just take a little walk forward. So try not to let your legs just flop. Keep the tension. I want you to keep your feet dorsiflexed, so you're pushing through the soles of the feet. They stay equally parallel, and you just drop down and take a breath here. So sink in the spine, allowing that give through the back. And I want you to try and catch your feet or your legs. If you can catch hold of your toes, catch hold of them now. If you can't catch hold of your feet, slide your hands onto the calves and grab them here. Try not to let your legs fall in or out. I don't want you to be in their natural place. I want you to keep full parallel. We inhale, lift and lift. We exhale, fold. We inhale, lift and lift. We exhale, fold. 3 more. 2 more. Last 1. Lift and fold. Hold here for a good 10 seconds. That'll give you a really good opportunity to take long, deep breaths. And then carefully bring your hands in front of you. Roll yourselves up. And then I want you to bend one leg in, to there. Take this arm inside that leg, open out through the opposite arm. Inhale, raise the arm up and come over into a side bend. So we're trying to twist through the waist, opening the chest away, and then feeling that stretch down the whole of the right side, grounding down into the hip. So you can stay here, this is enough for you. If you want more, slide that leg away, but make sure you don't lift your buttock and you keep your weight equally down in your hips. And turn and twist and breathe. Take 2 more breaths there. And then carefully lift the arm, rotate yourself towards that leg, so even your foot is here. Drop down into that leg, catching your calf or your foot, and come into a hamstring stretch. So I'm going to catch my right hand around that foot and then ease it off that way. That's a good stretch for me. Again, keep firm down in your buttocks, keep this leg lovely and lengthened and long, and just breathe. One more breath. And then carefully walk yourself up. Take that leg back out wide, bend this leg, slide your arm in, open the arm and reach it over. Twist, lengthen, buttocks firmly in the ground again. One further, take that leg away, go with it. And just breathe. So I'm keeping my hip firmly fixed to the ground. I'm just side bending, C shape, lengthening this arm. 2 more breaths, keep rotating the shoulder, look under the arm. And then carefully releasing the arm, turning down towards that thigh. So I'm grabbing my foot or calf and then extending away, coming into a hamstring stretch. 3 breaths there, guys. And then carefully roll it back up. Bring your fingertips behind, just lift up. And then bring your hands underneath those knees. Bring your legs together and come and sit yourself into a cross-legged position. I want you to take your left leg in front of your right and sit tall. I want you to turn towards the left leg and then just drop down and find that stretch very lightly into hip and buttock, keeping your buttocks again firmly on the floor, and just let your head and chest melt down. And then just allow your fingertips, just walk yourself back in again. Lean lightly back into your arms, just allow your legs to switch. Turn towards your right leg, and again, drop down. Just allowing the chest to sink down towards the thigh, buttocks firmly on the ground. It's very tempting just to lift up, just to get lower in your body. But this is about keeping the hips down in order to allow that give through the hip and the buttock. 2 more breaths here. And then walk your fingers round to the front. Sink down one more time. And then just begin to walk your hands in. Bring your fingertips down by your side, sitting tall. Engage the abs. And I want you to just feel your buttocks just sinking as if they're just naturally sitting there. So there's no tension, just relax. Then just roll the shoulders up towards the ears and rotate them back, sliding your fingers behind, leaning into the fingers and just pulling your shoulders back, lifting your chest, but keep nice and soft through the buttocks and the back. And then glide your arms out as we inhale, raising the arms up softly above the head, bringing the fingertips together, lowering down, hands together, give yourselves a bow and a clap. Thank you as always for tuning in and have a wonderful week. Bye for now.